Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, is a well-known fast food restaurant chain specializing in fried chicken. The history of KFC dates back to the 1930s, and it has since become one of the world's most popular and recognizable fast food brands. This is Colonel Sanders, or known as Harland Sanders. He is the man behind this fast food restaurant and the founder of the KFC restaurants. Sanders was born on September 9, 1890. When he was 5 years old, he lost his father. He was raised by an ultra-religious mother who taught him that alcohol, tobacco, coffee, and playing cards were all equally poisonous. After his mother got married to a man who wasn't so keen on the idea of stepchildren, so starting at the age of 12, Sanders had to go make his own way in the world. He worked on a farm while going to school, and when that got too hard. At the age of 16, he dropped out of school. Over the next 3 decades of his life, he worked as a streetcar conductor and railroad fireman, studied law by mail, acted as a midwife, operated a steamboat ferry, and even more. In the meantime, Sanders got married at age 18 and had 3 children. He became a railroad conductor at the age of 19. Sanders got fired from the railroad, and at his 20, his wife left and went to her parents in Alabama. But then, he reconciled with his wife. At 22, he joined the Army, applied to law school and faced rejection after rejection from school and the jobs he was at. The couple would eventually divorce, nearly 40 years later. Harland Sanders' life would change at age 40 when he began selling food to travelers from the back room of the Shell gas station he ran in Corbin, Kentucky. He became a hit with travelers selling his simple country fare of country ham, okra, biscuits, string beans, and similar items, as an alternative to the typical diner food found along the highways. Ironically, fried chicken was not originally on the menu. It took too long to prepare to be able to keep up with demand. If you know one thing about Colonel Sanders, it's probably that he made chicken. But if you know a second thing, well, it's that he's a colonel. Heck, you might even think Colonel is his first name. Certainly more people could name Colonel Sanders than Harland Sanders. But while it's true that Harland Sanders did serve in the Army, he wasn't that kind of colonel. As history relates, he lied about his age to join the Army in 1906 at age 15 or 16. He served in Cuba for about 6 months, before he was honorably discharged, possibly because his young age was discovered. Suffice it to say, this was not enough time for him to ascend to the rank of colonel. So what gives? In fact, Harland Sanders was a Kentucky colonel, which is the highest honorary title bestowed by the governor of Kentucky. Sanders was declared a colonel by Governor Ruby Laffoon in 1935 and then got re-upped in 1949 because his chicken was just that good. Fried chicken wasn't on Colonel Sanders' early menu, because 30 minutes was too long to wait for a serving to cook. Then in 1939, Sanders had probably the most important breakthrough in chicken history. He began frying his chicken in a pressure cooker, which dramatically cut the cook time while preserving quality. What's more, by this time Sanders was refining his famous blend of 11 herbs and spices, and the combination was ready for explosive success. In 1935, Sanders' first post-gas station cafe had been named a must-see destination in Duncan Hines' travel guide, Adventures in Good Eating. Like Sanders, it's interesting to note, Duncan Hines was a real guy, unlike Betty Crocker. Sanders was now nationally famous and had expanded his back room in a gas station kitchen into a 142-seat restaurant. It seemed like, finally, at age 49, after a host of weird jobs and shootouts, Sanders had found success. Before we continue this story, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to turn the notification bell so you won't miss in our every uploads. Let's continue. In the early 1950s, Colonel Sanders suffered a couple of career setbacks. He auctioned off his business at a huge loss and was now, at age 65, living entirely on his savings and a Social Security check of $105 a month. Fortunately, franchising would be his saving grace. According to history, Sanders taught his chicken frying methods to friend Pete Harmon in Salt Lake City. As it happens, Harmon owned one of the largest restaurants in town, and he started selling Sanders chicken as his first ever franchisee, calling it Kentucky Fried Chicken, and selling it in the soon-to-be trademark bucket. Following Harmon's success, other businesses wanted to sell Sanders chicken and made arrangements to give him 4 cents for every chicken cooked via his process. By 1963, Sanders had over 600 restaurants in the United States and Canada selling his chicken. Pete Harmon would be an extremely important contributor to Colonel Sanders' increasing success. Kentucky Fried Chicken, being Sanders' first franchisee, and selling via bucket, the phrase, "finger lickin' good," and the idea of standalone KFC restaurants came courtesy of Harmon. KFC's unique blend of spices and cooking method, referred to as original recipe, helped the chain grow rapidly. By the 1960s, KFC had become a national and international success, with restaurants across the United States and in several other countries. The Colonel himself became a millionaire in 1964 at age 73, when he sold Kentucky Fried Chicken to a group of investors for $2 million. The New Yorker says he was reluctant at first, but the investors persuaded him by saying they would never tamper with his recipe and that he could stay with the company as an advisor and brand ambassador, the living face of the company. The new owners felt having a living, authentic company symbol was a great asset. Sanders died in 1980 at age 90 of acute leukemia. He kept working until a month before his death. That seems like it should be the end of his story. Outside debates about the propriety of his image being used in continued advertising after his death. But for some Japanese baseball fans, the Colonel's death was only the beginning. Over the years, KFC changed ownership multiple times. It was acquired by R.J. Reynolds Industries in 1982 and then by PepsiCo in 1986. KFC continued to expand globally and became one of the largest and most recognizable fast food chains in the world. KFC has introduced various marketing campaigns and menu innovations over the years, adapting to changing consumer preferences and dietary trends. The image of Colonel Harland Sanders, with his white suit and black tie, became an iconic part of KFC's branding and is still used today. The brand continues to evolve and expand its presence globally. KFC has over 20,000 locations in 123 countries. And that's the wrap of our story for today. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like, share and subscribe to our channel, and please turn on the notification bell so you won't miss in our every uploads. There's lots of new content on the way, but until then, thank you so much for watching. You are a legend. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.